You say that evil can't exist without good, which I believe is true,
Right.
but how do we specifically know that that good is God? Because you said that we wouldn't know that like murdering or war and stuff like that is wrong without God, but people who don't believe in God, like Muslims or Hindus or like the ancient Greeks, they also thought that stuff like that was wrong. So if it comes from God, then why do people who didn't know God think that?
Okay, great question. When we say that murder is wrong because God exists, we are not saying that people who don't believe in the God of the Bible don't know murder's wrong. It's not a question of what we call epistemology, how do we know? It's a question of what we call ontology. Why does the thing called the moral law exist in the first place, regardless of how we know it? In fact, according to Romans 2, Paul says the Gentiles do not have the law of the law written on their hearts. In other words, people intuitively know right and wrong because God has written it on their hearts, whether they believe in God or not. That's why virtually every culture agrees on certain big moral principles, because God has written it on their hearts, whether they believe in Him or not. So, C.S. Lewis points that out in the book Abolition of Man. And others have pointed that out as well. So it's not how do I know right and wrong, it's why is there a right and wrong to begin with. And that right and wrong is God's nature. That's what all theologians will say, philosophers will say. Whatever we call good, that's what we mean by God, God's nature. Now, a lot of times when I'm debating an atheist, they'll say, well, I can be a good person and I can know right from wrong, to which I respond, yes, I agree with that. I'm not saying you can't be good, and I'm not saying you don't know what good is. What I'm saying is you can't justify what good is unless God exists, because there's no purpose to life, and there's no standard of objective morality outside of yourself. Maybe an illustration would help. Let's say you go outside, you're driving down the street, and you see speed limit signs, 70 miles an hour, right, out on the highway here. You can know what that speed limit is, and you can drive the speed limit while at the same time denying there's a traffic authority, right?
Right.
But that speed limit sign wouldn't be there unless there was a traffic authority. The same thing is true with God. You can know it's wrong to murder and wrong to rape and wrong to steal and deny God exists, but it wouldn't really be wrong to murder, to rape, or steal unless God exists.